We bring you this special radio television broadcast in order to give you the very latest information on an amazing phenomenon. The arrival of a spaceship. Just a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, I think something is happening.
Flying saucers have invaded our planet.
People of Earth, attention.
It's the invasion of the podcast.
The whole world is under attack. Can it survive?
All right, and welcome to the Invasion of the Podcast. This is Paul, and to my left, as always, is Mr. Fix-It, Joe Peters.
Mr. Fix-It. Oh,
Yeah.
So now I'm like the Hulk?
Yeah, because
right.
you were recently in Vegas for a stay, so
Oh,
I had a
you know
feeling
what?
that you were there.
Okay, very good.
To
very good.
just break people's hands and be angry about things. I don't know.
It was, yeah. I was very green in Vegas, but I think it was from all the drinking.
Was there anything I don't know, related to what we do here on the podcast out in Vegas that you saw that was interesting?
I actually know there was some street art that they had over by the Link, which is right across the street from Caesar's Palace now. They did different graffiti on one of the alleyways where they built a whole new shopping area. But there was a Salvador Dali-esque graffiti of Star Wars stuff. And it looked really cool. It was basically Dali's melting clocks, but it was like the Millennium Falcon and AT-ATs and stuff. It looked really cool. I'll post a picture up on Facebook. You guys can check it out.
Well, considering that, like Salvador Dali, the name by itself could be a Star Wars character, of some sort.
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely.
And the mustache. Yeah. So I did not have as wonderful as a vacation weekend away. I was here in Cleveland, which is like it's a vacation kind of. Like I don't know, it's not a vacation, it's Cleveland. But I was here, I saw some interesting movies. We'll get to that in a moment. But let's get to some news.
News team, assemble!
So what do we have for news?
Well, I've been away, so I've been trying to catch back up. I guess one of the big news is CBS is getting more and more stuff out there about Supergirl, the TV show DC's doing.
Yeah, like I was telling Joe before we started recording, like CBS has a 6-minute teaser up of Supergirl. You go, girl. No, Supergirl. It's up online. It's like 6 minutes. It's like a brief little, like, I don't know. It's like an encapsulation of like their pilot. It is very CBS-y. That's all I can say about it. It's like.
Are there a lot of like audience laughs pumped in?
No, there's no canned laughter, but it's more like this girl. She's down on her luck. She works at a magazine and she's running into opposition. It's like Alec McBeal with capes. Like I don't know. It's very like there's bits in it that are like okay, this could be kind of fun, but they kept saying like well your cousin. It's like we get it. Like she's related to Superman. And she's called Supergirl, and she can make it happen.
Well, I was kind of shocked to see that they're going to... Granted, it's a different network, and I doubt DC probably had a say in it because it's their time slots, CBS's time slots. They're throwing it up against Gotham. So you got CBS's Supergirl up against Fox's Gotham, but the same kind of properties of DC head-to-head. I'd be pretty pissed about it.
It's kind of, it's like if both of them are... like received successfully, that it's not going to help the brand.
Yeah.
But from what everyone says about Gotham, it's like, it's okay. So Supergirl seems like it's going to be it's okay.
Yeah. So next thing you know, Marvel's going to put Luke Cage out on Hulu the same time that Iron Fist comes out on Netflix.
Well, what's going to happen is that CW is going to air one episode of Flash, the Arrow, or something during that same time, and it's going to spawn 6 different spinoffs in that one episode is what's going to happen.
You know what, though? I have faith because, I mean, DC has done some solid TV, and who knows?
Yeah, so far, I mean, like, I think Marvel is starting to step it up, but I think DC has definitely had the right people in place for at least the CW to produce some interesting things. So I thought it was interesting. You can go ahead and check out the first look on the CBS website. I don't know what there was some song playing at the end. It was some like popular guy singing, and it's like male Taylor Swift. I don't even know who that is, but that's what it felt like.
All right.
So okay. Anyway, enough of that. We've
what
talked
else?
more about Supergirl than it'll probably be on the air anyway.
I think that's like a lot of like TV stuff. I mean, in terms of DC, Marvel, and stuff, I know Agent Carter got renewed for a second season.
Yes.
And then I heard Constantine did get canceled.
Yes.
Which, if you have not watched Constantine, I highly recommend it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't watch any of it.
It was very entertaining. I love
Keanu Reeves ruined it for me.
You know what? Don't because I agree with you. Like Keanu Reeves Constantine is
Whoa.
Yeah.
Demons.
But yeah, the executive producers say that they want to try to find another home for Constantine, which is good because that generally means the cast and the producers kind of actually want to keep the show going.
Well, there was that rumor too that Arrow was supposed to cross over and guest star for like a split second because the whole notion of the Lazarus Pit, and Constantine was supposed to be like an expert on that.
Yeah.
So there's like talk of that, but that was like cross networks and yada yada yada.
That would have been a weird crossover because like Constantine seemed to be contained in his own world of the occult.
Yeah.
And I think, bringing that in.
Well, that's just as odd as like was it Del Toro has been working on Justice League Dark as a movie.
As a movie?
Yeah.
Really?
They're supposed to have who
I
was
know
it?
it's him. It's Constantine, Swamp Thing, Zatanna.
Yeah, like there was like the weird oddball DC people were
Yeah,
supposed to be in
yeah.
it. Deadman was Deadman one of them? I think it was.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry.
But no, it's it's DC.
We start talking about stuff and you guys listen and they're like, they don't know what the hell
I
they're
don't know. It's
talking
just
about.
like, oh man, I'm gonna listen to that DC podcast. I don't know what's going on, but
These guys.
so and speaking of like renewals and cancellations like that was like I was hoping Agent Carter would come back. I was glad that it did. I think it's a nice, interesting. Like I think eight episodes is enough to get like a good arc across.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that could be interesting. I know that there's still talk possibly of the Mockingbird. I can't talk tonight. Mockingbird and the other guy and
Mr. Mockingbird?
Yeah, Mr.
Her
Mockingbird,
ex-husband?
Agent Shield. His real name's Nick Blood.
Yes.
But that's not his character's name.
I know his character's name is Hunter, but
Yeah,
his real name
character's
is Nick
should
Blood.
be Nick Blood.
His
Yeah.
character's name should be Nick Blood.
Yeah, so there's still talk of that happening. I think that maybe they need to reel it back a little bit and make Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as good as possible.
I haven't gotten caught up on S.H.I.E.L.D. yet. I know. Didn't they just wrap it up?
Yeah, they did. I didn't get to watch the 2-hour season finale, but everything about the season's been great. And I've dug it.
I read a little bit of reviews that didn't really reveal anything, and like I loved season 2. I thought it really just kind of was like kept on going up the mountain like that guy from Price is Right. So
the yodeler.
the yodeler. Yeah. That was like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 2 for me. Season 1 was kind of like we're getting ready, getting our packs ready, and then I'm like,
up the mountain we go.
I don't even want to go up this damn mountain after watching, putting all this stuff in the first season, and then the second season is just like, yeah. But
first season was base camp, and you're like, it's okay,
Yeah.
but it's not quite that needs to be. Yeah.
But from what I've read, the last 2 episodes are pretty big.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get to that. I will get to that sometime this week. We were talking about some movie trailers came out. Jim and the Holograms.
Yes.
There you go. So you're welcome, the 3 Jim fans out there. We're going to talk about this for a second.
There's nothing wrong. I didn't watch Gem really unless I forgot to change the channel when I was like 5. Because I mean, let's face it, like He-Man was over, and when Gem comes on, you're just like, what are you still watching this for?
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they did a Gem and the Holograms movie. I did watch the trailer, and I probably definitely will not watch the movie because
6 times, 5 times maybe, but not 6 times.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold off because I don't want it to outdo Age of Ultron for me. But no, the trailer I liked, but not as a fan. I just appreciated what they did with the source material.
There's no Jim and the Holograms Connected Universe coming, is there? Where it's like, I
No.
got Jim and the Holograms and Josie and the Pussycats and whatever band Archie was in, and the Brady Bunch band or whatever they're all.
The Brady Bunch band.
Yeah.
No, but did you watch the trailer?
I did. I took away a little different where it's like this felt like it could have been it could be an interesting movie. From what I remember of Jim and Holograms, it's not fun enough.
Yeah.
And it's not as weird sci-fi enough.
Well, I feel like and again, it's only a trailer, but just from what I gathered from the trailer, I feel like it captured the essence of the characters in the 80s, like what they tried to do for young girls, like, you know, as like a cartoon show for little girls, like, you know, the fame, the rock star image, the thing like that. And they've done that through generations too. You know, it's like Hannah Montana is like,
I was about to say that this
gem
feels
of her
like
generation.
This is like what this is, the Hannah Montana movie
Yeah.
about Hannah Montana.
So this is kind of like a retro of that, you know, but then again, like with the cartoon, there was always like a little bit of action. Like Gem and the Holograms would always get into something.
Yeah.
You know, they'd have to rescue Rio or something like that. But, you know, I don't know if they're going to do that in the movie, but at the same time, I feel like they're going to be able to like have a show or have a movie for tweens to get into, like it was the cartoon when we were kids.
Yeah, I guess it's just that not that they need to satisfy me, a 36-year-old male, like watching the trailer for Gem and the Holograms, but it felt like they're just like, oh well, we'll take the makeup and the hairdos, but we'll make that a persona on stage and not an actual like lifestyle. And it's like, and not that I don't know, I guess ultimately I don't know what kind of movie I thought this was going to be, but the trailer was just like,
it's Gem and the Holograms and it's modernized more.
It is not like, truly outrageous, truly outrageous,
truly outrageous. But like I thought it was cool because like, you know, they went retro, they got the makeup, they got the weird hair. It wasn't like they just took these girls and they're like, oh, here's some Taylor Swift clones and that's the new Gem.
Oh, that's what that felt like, was just like it's Taylor Swift movie.
It did feel like it was Taylor Swift like retroed 80'd. You know, because that's basically what it was.
Yeah. If they rename the movie like Swift 5, there's not really 5. I think there's 4 people in the band, but it's called Swift 5. Like,
Speaking of like Gem and that whole era, Ninja Turtles 2 is filming. It's coming along, and there's a cam. Did you read about the cameo that they're gonna have in it?
No.
Judith Hoag? She played April O'Neil in the 1990 version.
Oh.
She's going to be in the new one. Oh. They haven't really revealed who she's going to be, but it's kind of a cool throwback to see, like...
April O'Neil Sr.
April O'Neil Sr., like, she's going to be, what's her name? Megan Fox's mom or something. But it was kind of...
They'll have to, like, mess her thumbs up just to match Megan Fox.
Oh, don't worry. I don't want to talk about the club, though.
She has some weird thumbs.
Stop it.
Okay. It's like, hey, Senior O'Neil, what are you doing right now? I'm so sorry that first Turtles movie ruined your career. Could you come back for another one? Did she do anything past that? I don't think she did anything past that.
I don't know.
All right. So, all right. Well, that's exciting. I mean, are they going to get was it Eli? What was his name? The guy, Elias, the guy that played Casey Jones in the first movie. They going to get him to come back?
No, the guy that looks like what's his name from Law and Order?
Yeah, he looks a lot like what's that? You know, I normally know that guy's name. He's the can of mixed vegetables in Wet Hot American Summer. What is his name? Christopher Maloney.
Christopher Maloney. Yeah, as soon as you said Christopher, I was like Christopher Maloney. Right.
Yeah. So I don't know.
They should have got Christopher Maloney to play Casey Jones. Then it would have messed with your head.
They should get the can of mixed vegetables to come in to Ninja Turtles 2, because at that point, who cares? Yeah. So that's exciting.
We'll talk about Ninja Turtles probably later, but I think I don't want to go too heavy on the news. I guess I'll throw this in here too, like, because I know we don't really talk about his video games as much as we should. I know, like, Heroes of the Storm is launching in a month. Mm-hmm. That's Blizzard's massive online battle arena. In case you guys don't know what that is, it's kind of like a over the top 5 versus 5 little action game that's popular, that actually spawned from Blizzard game Warcraft 3.
Yeah, you guys have maybe heard similar clones, like not clones, like Dota came from that. Smite is another one that's kind of popular.
There's actually a DC Universe one.
Yeah, DC has one. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a big thing now where it's more like team play oriented.
Yeah, it's very team oriented. Originally, it was Warcraft 3. Like, every time they did these strategy games, they always gave you map editors. So you could play the regular game, but then you could kind of make your own game, which is kind of cool. And the most popular game type, I guess, modification for Warcraft 3 was called Defense of the Ancients. That's where Dota comes from. So, oddly enough, this whole separate game spawned of DOTA from a mod called DOTA from Warcraft 3. And now Blizzard's kind of
Steam they're releasing Dota 2 as a sequel. But then Blizzard's like, hey, Steam, what if we release a MOBA that is the same kind of, but we call it our thing, but you
Yeah.
guys can do your thing. And everyone's like, yay, we're all friends. It's cool. Like, it's such a weird genesis of how that all came out to be.
Well, Blizzard's kind of just covering every base they can with PC games, I think. They've got the Team Fortress 2, what is it called? Overwatch coming out?
Overwatch.
That's
Yeah,
their
that
one
looks
in
really
development.
cool. Yeah.
But, you know, if you go down, like any of you guys play any Blizzard games, if you go down the list, if you've got a Blizzard launcher, like the game types are solid types of games for the PC that are pretty notorious. You know, real-time strategies, MMOs, this MOBA thing, even the card game with Hearthstone, and Diablo is going to be king of the mountain with what Diablo is. You know,
They need a like a clicking adventure game, kind of like Sam and Max. They need something like that, now.
or Myst.
Or Myst.
They need
That's
to
what
have
need,
a Blizzard version of Myst. But
You know what? I'd play that. I would buy that right now.
But-
If I was set in the Warcraft universe, I'd be like, oh, I'll keep clicking. It's fine. That's what I do anyway.
Oh, I had to click on the Fell Hunter. Yeah.
I clicked wrong.
But check out Heroes of the Storm comes out June 2nd. It's free to play. And if you like Blizzard at all, basically it's a battle royale of Blizzard characters. You got StarCraft guys fighting Diablo guys and Warcraft guys fighting them, and you pick everybody from different universes. So if you got a favorite from one game, they're probably in there.
It's like every non-sexy Blizzard fanfic that I wrote. I mean, read. I mean, I'd never looked up.
You never. We'll stop. Okay.
All right. What do we got? Is that for news?
I think that's it for news. I don't
Okay.
want to get too news heavy because I wasn't reading up on vacation.
Yeah, that's true. And I was distracted by a couple movies this weekend. I will go into those briefly. First, I saw Maggie, which is when I say Arnold Schwarzenegger zombie flick, everyone just automatically assumes this guy's going to go in and, you know, kick ass and just shoot everybody. And it's like, and he does walk around with a rifle for most of the movie, but he doesn't use it. And so it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He plays a father that's going to go in like Kansas City, like in the middle of the city, to go pick up his daughter who ran away. His daughter is played by Abigail Breslin, who you know from Little Miss Sunshine and Zombieland, which I made the joke that I did not realize that Maggie was a sequel to Zombieland. But,
It's a sequel to Zombieland.
so he goes to pick her up. So this is like kind of in the wake of like a zombie outbreak, but they never say zombie like directly. It's more of like an
Most
infection.
zombie movies don't. They
Yeah.
dance around the zombie
They
word.
want to be taken seriously without saying the Z word. But she was beginning of the movie, she's already bit. So you know, like this isn't great. But in this world, when the outbreak happens, like it's slow moving. We're talking like 6 to 8 weeks for it to finally run its course and completely take somebody over. So it's more like you have time. It's more of like an allegory for terminal illness, where it's like you have a little bit of time with this person before they're taken over by this thing. And it's more of a father coming to grips with losing his daughter than it is to straight up a zombie movie. And that's why I wanted to see it. So it's released on video on demand. I went to the local Capitol Theater, put some money down to go see it. There was only two of us in the theater. It was myself and another guy. I don't know what he was expecting. I knew what I was getting into. And the person who directed it, I believe he worked for Naughty Dog and did some of the title work
Henry Hobson.
for Last of Us, which this movie felt very similar, where it's like you got an older man and you have a girl who may or may not be infected, but kind of is, and it's kind of sad and it's gloomy, and it could have been The Last of Us, the movie, but it wasn't. So it was good. It was really good. Like I was telling Mary, my fiance, who the long suffering fiance, who I talk about all the stuff with. I was telling her that the movie is good. It lacks that little emotional punch at the end that would make it going from good to great.
Okay.
And I don't want to ruin it. Like, you know.
Well, I haven't seen it. I do want to see it. I was interested in it because I like zombie movies that aren't your typical zombie movie. I think that zombies are a great vehicle to draw out a lot of human emotion
Absolutely.
in movies.
Yeah.
And this sounds like exactly what it is. Like, I know people that are big zombie fans that would probably go see this movie. Like you were saying, Arnold zombies, yeah. You know,
Yeah.
but then when you get there, you're like, there's no action. And I'm like, yes, but like watching that happen to your daughter is the drama and the...
Yeah,
You know.
and like he actually makes me care about what's going on. Like I I like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like he's the flippin' Terminator. Like you gotta like him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess you don't got to, but it's like there's a lot of movies that you enjoy him in.
Yeah.
And he actually emotes, and like there's points where you're just like, I can totally relate to this guy, knowing that he only has a certain amount of time left with his daughter, because like there's nothing in this movie that hints that there's the possibility of this ending well.
Yeah.
And that's not a spoiler or anything. It's just like it's like watching The Road and expecting that to end well, which that goes into what we're going to talk about later a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's more like, what's going on? What's his name from Lord of the Rings? I know he's like Viggo Mortensen, but what was his name? What was the name of the movie, Lord of the Rings? He was Viggo Mortensen. Aragorn. It's
Okay,
like,
I'm
Aragorn.
like, are you talking about
It's like, Aragorn, you're just so upset, and you take your ring and you throw it away in that movie. I know this isn't going to end well for you. Same thing for Schwarzenegger. It's like Terminator. I know you have a daughter that's not robotic, but it's not going to end well for you. I'm so sorry.
Well, I think like a lot of my favorite zombie movies are ones where it's the people, the gore is going to be there, the monsters, the zombies are definitely an antagonist, but like I think like the emotion and the drama of the people in the story are kind of what draw me into a good zombie movie.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those ones where even though I wasn't satisfied with the ending, I don't regret watching it, and I don't think the ending is enough to make me dislike the movie. Which there's movies where I can be kind of on the fence about, and then I get to the end, I could be like, screw you, I never want to watch you again. This is one of those ones where I feel like that if you guys don't want to go to the theater, if it's not local to you, then like video on demand, like watch it, support things like this, because I think well done, interesting, I guess this is technically a horror movie, but well done, interesting movies that are kind of off beaten path that actually explore actual issues that have a little bit of like a sci-fi or horror beat to it. There's not enough of those done well, so support this one, please.
Yeah. And I know like not to get too far off subject with that, but like The Mist is not there are no zombies in it, but to me that is an excellent zombie movie because of the human interaction in that grocery store.
Oh, this is all foreshadowing to what we're talking about later for
yes, it is
for things.
I'm sorry,
so we're getting there.
We'll talk about that.
Oh, another movie I want to talk about right now, real briefly, Roar, which we talked about and we did mention on the Facebook, Facebook. It is the movie that I talked about previously. I think I mentioned it. It was shot in the late 70s, released in the early 80s, where it was basically like, hey, we'll get a bunch of actors and we'll get them around real lions and jungle cats and elephants and just kind of see what happens. And we went to go see this at the theater at Cedar Lee midnight last week. I was there with Mary, some other friends, too many to mention. Actually, shout out to all you people that were there with me, and because I know I was talking like a lot during the movie, not like being a jerk, but like yelling at the movie at things that was going on, because I felt uncomfortable. Like, you ever get that moment where you feel so uncomfortable watching something where you just shake your body and go, ugh, I can't deal with that?
Yeah.
These lions would go up to people and just like paw at them. I'm like, are they playing with them or are they starting to eat them? I don't know what was going on.
Right.
And the music in the movie at times was so upbeat and like Disney, like, things are great, but you see these large jungle cats walking around crushing things that are near people because they're like, what's this? Is there a person in this cabinet? I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, are they really being playful, or are they close to killing somebody?
Yeah.
And you just never knew the entire time.
Well, I read some of the stuff about the injuries. You told me about a few of them, and I know Melanie Griffith almost lost an eye.
Yeah, and I can tell you what scene it was. It was ridiculous. Like, there's a bit where there's a large cat lying on top of her, and it's like, and there's this weird overdubbing in the movie the entire time, because it wouldn't surprise me if really what was going on was, get this cat off of me. I don't know what's going on. But like but it was more like, oh, I don't know. Where's Dad at? Dad will help us, because they come to visit their father, who is stationed in Africa. He's like some kind of doctor. Like, you see him help one person at the beginning of the movie. He doesn't help anybody the rest of the movie. And he leaves for a bit with two Bengal tigers. I don't know why these two Bengal tigers follow him. They just kind of keep with him on his journey. And at one point, he's driving in a convertible, just a beat up convertible with two Bengal tigers in the back seat, and he's just driving around. And these tigers don't care. They don't really care.
Tigers, a known fact, love convertible Sunday rides.
I guess so, because these two didn't do anything.
Yeah, they were probably happy as a peach.
Yeah, so At Peach, they could eat people whole. But so like these people are just like they show up at this house, and it's like the house looks fine. And then as they're in there, all these jungle cats walk in, and they start tearing the place up. They didn't do it while he was there, so I kind of feeling they're just like, oh, Dad's not here, just tear everything up. It's fine. But so it was like bizarre watching all these people like in these life-threatening situations, but then there's also
Juxtaposition.
There you go. Against images of cats doing cat things. Like there's clearly moments where there's these large jungle cats in a kitchen and they jump up on a cabinet and knock everything off and then run away. Like, but there's these huge cats. They're just like, I'm going to bat this off and be like, I didn't do that, and just take off. And it was really bizarre.
So it was kind of cats acting like cats, but cats that are like 20 times the size of house cats.
Yeah, there was a bit like these people were in a boat, like a regular little rowboat, and they're trying to get away, and they're going along the shoreline, and there was a lion there, and the lion just looked at him, took his paw out, and just grabbed the edge of the boat and just brought it slowly into him. And like you see the guy take an oar and be like, no, we're gonna go away. And then the cat looked at him and just put his paw back out and grabbed the edge of the boat and brought it right back. This happened like 4 times, and it's like they just let the cameras run where the cat's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna bring you closer to me. And it's like they had to be calm because it's like this thing was probably gonna take a swipe at them. So the cats were weird, like they're aggressive and then not. They had an elephant that I don't know what this elephant problem. He was a dick. The elephant was a dick the entire time. Anytime there was a mode of transportation near this elephant, he broke it. I don't know why. And the elephant was a dick. And you can even see the lines are like, I don't know who this guy is. He's a dick. And that's all that was going on. So it was
his agent probably worked out a really bad deal for him.
He's like, sorry, elephant, you're the dick in this movie. He's like, I don't want to be. There's all these lines. It's just, you're the dick. It's fine. It was a really bizarre movie. I'm going to own this on Blu-ray because it breaks my brain that it exists. And I recommend everybody at least see it once. It's coming out soon. It's also playing at the Capitol Theater, which is also in Cleveland on the west side, at midnight this Saturday. Like, if you guys aren't doing anything, go watch it. It defies expectation. And I talked way too much about lions and elephants being dicks.
No, that's fine.
So something else happened this weekend?
Oh,
it's kind of important.
Well, of course, Sunday was Mother's Day.
Yeah, the all-important Mother's Day, which let's get into this. This is important.
'Cause I'm a mother lover, you're a mother lover. We should each other's mothers, each other's moms.
I don't condone that, but it's a great song. So anyway, Joe came up with this wonderful idea with it being Mother's Day, and that's why I think it's appropriate to talk about the Supergirl and the Jim and the Holograms, and then what we're going to talk about later a little bit. Joe had a really great idea to celebrate Mother's Day.
Oh, so for Mother's Day, me and Paul, we are going to do the top 10 list of the best and worst mothers of movies, TV, comics, video game, whatever.
Yeah, media.
Yeah. Number one would not, I mean, I'm not jumping on the list, but I don't want to like not throw out my mom would be number one. I'm sure Paul's mom would be number one on an actual mom's list.
Sure.
You know, but
best or worst, I don't know. Flip a coin.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my mom didn't take me to be in a movie with lions when I was a kid. So, like,
be
Melanie,
thankful for that. Yeah.
So, do you want to
She's
start?
like, you know what? Lions are pretty terrible. I guess I could deal with Antonio Banderas for a while. I don't know. That implies he's a terrible person. I don't know.
Do you want to start with the good or the bad first?
I don't know. I think. See, I have some stuff I've written down for good that is kind of ridiculous. So I don't know where we want to go with this.
And this is like not in a.
This is not scientific. By
No,
any stretch
yeah,
of the imagination.
we basically took a lot of like names and I kind of jumbled them all together, and then I kind of rated them, and I went off of stuff I was actually exposed to enough. Like I mean I know that, you know, I hate to break anybody's heart, but I don't have Carol Brady on here or June Cleaver, even though they are solid moms, but I just did really not watch that much Brady Bunch.
Yeah, I didn't want to go the whole like sitcom route, but there's a couple that kind of end up here. So we can roll through because I think maybe the best moms first and then the worst moms.
Okay, yeah, better, let's do the best moms first. Okay. Who did you want to? Here you go first. Who did you have for number 10?
Number 10, I'll put down Murphy Brown. Because, you know, there was a big deal. Like, the whole thing was her being a single mother.
Yeah.
And people freaked out about it.
I remember that.
The later seasons was her balancing being, like, you know, a professional career woman and having a kid.
I remember when that happened because I would watch that show with my mom.
That was actually a pretty good show.
It was. And I remember when she was having the baby and it was a big deal. And I was in school and I can't remember what grade I was in, but I was kind of young. I was like around like 10 or 11. And like I was talking to one of my teachers after class ended and I was like, hey, are you going to watch Murphy Brown tonight? Because she's having her baby. And my teacher looked at me like, why the hell are you watching Murphy Brown have her baby? Like, you're 10. And I'm like, I don't know. I just exposed
It was
to it,
one of
you
the
know?
last CBS shows I ever watched. But anyway, so
I know my number 10 was Bambi's mom.
oh,
So, yeah, because, I mean, you know, Bambi's mom, like, basically taught him everything, and then she sacrificed herself so he could get away.
yeah, like I was talking to Mary about this. It was like you do anything Disney, all the moms end up they end up in bad ways, or they're like evil, and it's like there's no in between. And,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, maybe there's something out there I don't know about, but it just feels like that. So yeah, you know, Bambi was like, you know, like I'm a deer. I should probably befriend the skunk because my mom taught me good. I don't know. Yeah, I'll give you Bambi's mom.
All right.
Number 9, in no particular order, Linda Belcher from Bob's Burgers.
Oh, yeah, Linda. I didn't think about Linda Belcher.
They've raised some weird kids, but she loves them enough to be weird, but they're not bad kids.
Okay. You know what? My number 9 kind of coincides with that. I went with Morticia Addams.
Oh, there you go. Same
So,
thing,
same
right?
thing. Yeah, it's just different generations. One's animated. They both have dark hair. So
And just so you guys know, we really didn't compare lists a whole lot.
no, yeah, like we try, and I mean, I know you guys are like, oh, whatever. We don't. We try to keep some stuff from us, so our reactions will be more genuine.
So number 8, I'm going to give you number 8, and you're gonna like this one.
Okay.
Beatrix Kiddo from Kill Bill.
Oh, you know what? Okay.
I say she's a good mom because, you know, she woke up and was like, I have a kid.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill everybody in between to get there.
Okay. I'm not going to touch on that because she's on my list too.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. All right. My number 8 was Sophia Petrillo, which is Dorothy's mom from the Golden Girls.
Oh, there we go. Yes. Estelle Getty.
Estelle Getty,
Yes.
like always the best zingers, and like she's always got to be like, you know, busting your balls, and then but like she really kind of cared about her daughter a lot.
Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't even think about that. I'll give you that. Number 7, this is probably going to be on your list.
Okay.
Sarah Connor.
Yes, she is, and she's on my list, and we'll talk about it like when we get to that. There, I know we're gonna have some of these matched up.
She was a crazy mother, but she did prepare her son well for the future war.
Oh yeah. Number 7, I had the Queen Alien.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, there goes my number 5.
We'll talk about her when we get to your 5. So
Oh, it's fine. No, it shows you that we're really a lot alike.
Yeah.
So there's that. It's like, you know, is she a good mother or a bad mother? That's the
I
question.
thought she was a good mom.
She just didn't realize that where they were at was like, it was a
Nobody
ticking
else,
time bomb.
Nobody else really liked her. It was just their kids.
Yeah, that's true. You know,
You
It's
know,
just
like she was cool. Like
she was like Honey Boo Boo's mom. Like, you know, I have some monsters out there, but I love them.
yeah, like she was cool. Like Ripley shows up with the flamethrower, and she's kind of like, all right, you can go. And then Ripley kind of torches everything, and she's like, all right, no.
No.
gloves are off.
Let's get it straight. Like, Ripley was about to leave, and then one of the eggs opened up, which I guess the mom really can't control, but one of the eggs is like, oh, there's people in here.
Yeah.
And then Ripley just kind of tilted her head and was like, no, this is
Yeah.
not how this is going to be.
It's kids, you know.
Yeah.
It's like if you're like, okay, I'm gonna get my kids aren't gonna scream and cry anymore.
And then
one
one does,
starts crying
yeah.
and be like, I can't help that.
Yeah,
I can't help
that's
that
true.
it wants to jump on your face. You should have got out of here quicker.
That's true. I'll give you that.
Now we got to fight.
All right. So,
Number 6.
yes. I have Wilma Flintstone.
Oh, Wilma's a good one. I definitely looked at Wilma to put on the list. I didn't watch enough Flintstones to get a good judge of her parenting.
Yeah. I think it's more.
It was to me. It was always the Fred and Barney show.
Well, but Betty Rubble, I think she's the one that really, she had the son that could destroy everything. So that's
This
a
is
better,
true, yes.
and they
Like-
adopted him.
Yeah, Pebbles didn't really cause any problems. It
Yeah.
was Bam Bam was like, it was like, okay, we need to have really good
So I
insurance.
changed my answer. It's Betty Rubble.
Betty
Rubble's-
Rubble.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh,
there
Wilma
you go.
got thrown out. My number 6 was Claire Huxtable.
Oh, there you go.
On that list too.
I'll find some other stuff. It's fine.
No. Keep them where they're at. Keep them where they're at.
What else do I have in here?
All right. Number 5 was your Queen Alien.
Yeah.
Who did I have for number 5?
You know what? I'm gonna change my number 5.
Okay.
Pamela Voorhees. You know,
You're gonna be mad at me there. I'm going to keep going.
is that in your list too? I'm not taking things from your list.
Not
I'm so,
this one.
Not this one. She's a pretty good mom. She
was a
you know
good
what?
mom.
She should have paid attention to her kids swimming. But otherwise,
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
No, the damn counselor should have paid attention to her kids.
yeah,
swimming.
and she made them pay.
Yeah.
And then-
My
but she
number.
did leave them at a young age though. So
My number 5 was Mrs. Weasley from Harry Potter.
I'll default because other than watching
read
that
Harry
first
Potter?
movie, I saw the first
She-
movie. I didn't read any of the books.
I mean, she had like 6 kids.
Yeah.
You know, and she took good care of them, raised them all, and protected them. I mean,
How many of them were wizards? All of them?
I think they were all wizards.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm
Is
not
that
a
someone
huge
with a
Harry
family?
Potter fan, but I did follow enough Harry Potter. But yeah, she and plus, like, you know,
Feel free
during
to
the-
tell us why we're wrong at invadingpodcast at gmail.com and invadingpodcast
Yeah.
at the Twitter.
I'm gonna put up the whole list. We're gonna I'll put it up on Facebook, and you guys could chime in with your top 10
Please.
or whatever you think should have been on the list or what you disagree with. We're happy to argue with you or listen to what you think. I mean, that's the reason we do this. We wanna
Yeah, please let us
Talk
know,
about it.
'cause, like, I started to run out of things here. I have a lot of people, but it's like there's things out there I know that are out there that I just didn't think about. So
Yeah, I know. I had a hard time. I'm like, there's got to be some that I didn't think about. Like when you started naming off like Tina Belcher, I was like, or not Tina, Linda, and I was like, oh man, I'm like, I didn't even think of Bob's Burgers.
Yes.
So number 4, who do you have for number 4?
I have Aunt May from the Spider-Mans.
I know.
You know, like,
That's my number 3.
oh man, maybe we should have conferred like our lists because
probably should have.
You know what?
But
I'll
this
switch.
is-
I'll switch Aunt May.
No, you don't gotta switch
to
anything.
the Jaws from Jaws 3D because it was the mom shark that went to go save the baby shark.
I had Marge Simpson for number 4.
Oh well, there you go.
That was my animated mom.
Oh, did I? I had Marge Simpson somewhere. Did I
you?
take her off my list?
you
Oh,
just totally-
that she puts up with like all 4 of her kids.
And her husband.
That's why I said 4 kids.
You know the funny. Oh, yeah. Anyway, but you know what's funny is like I almost went the route like I was sitting there looking at cartoon moms like Wilma Flintstone, Marge Simpson, Lois Griffin, and I'm just thinking I'm like Lois isn't a good
No,
parent.
she's not a good
I'm
parent.
like
No,
I'm like
no.
how often do they make fun of their daughter?
Yes. Yeah. So that's why I was I was
Yeah,
Marge
Marge
Mary
Simpson
about
was
this.
my
I'm
number 4,
like,
and then
not Lois.
Aunt May was my number 3, even though it's Aunt May.
Oh, Marge Simpson's my number 3. It's right here. I just
Oh,
noticed
we got
that.
him.
There
We
you
got
go.
him flipped.
Yeah.
Even though it's Aunt May, yeah, she raised Peter Parker and
Yes.
Spider-Man. So that was my one comic person to slide in there.
Well, okay, so for number 2, I'm going to slide in. I'm going to put in. I cannot remember her name off the top of my head. The mom from Malcolm in the Middle. I know her name's Jane Kresmerick is her real name.
Oh, yeah, I didn't watch a lot of Malcolm. In
It's
the
like
Middle.
that whole family is like they all bonded together. Like they were terrible people, but they watched out for their own.
Yeah.
And she put up with all of them. And if you've not watched that show, it's on Netflix, all its entirety. It is actually really, really good. And Bryan Cranston, I always joke about how,
I mean, he
Malcolm
was-
Middle is a prequel to Breaking Bad.
I was just gonna say he's cooking meth, and the whole family stays together.
Yeah, Dewey's Jesse. You just don't know it.
We gotta cook, Jesse. Which one was that? Number 3? Yeah, it was my Aunt May. Okay, what was your number? Was that your number 2? Or
Yeah, well, because no, number 2.
number 2 was your Marge. Number 2, I had Sarah Connor for number 2.
Oh, there we
Yeah.
go. Because I had Claire Huxtable as my number 2, but I
Yeah.
switched it.
And a lot of incarnations of Sarah Connor.
That's true. You know what? Well, I guess that ties into our bad moms later. We'll get to that because the lady that played Sarah Connor in the TV show,
Yeah. Well,
it's the same lady that goes
Right.
into some of this other stuff as bad moms. So,
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I should.
So-
You know what? As much as everybody likes it, that's going to happen right now. I'm just going to give this right now. Spoiler alert! Yeah, that's coming later. So anyway,
who's your number 1?
this one you may not have thought of this one. My
Okay.
favorite TV mom of all time, Kitty from That 70s Show.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Kitty.
That was a good one. I saw that looking over lists of like just people that I could trying to jog my memory. Beatrix Kiddo was my number 1.
Oh.
I loved Kill Bill a lot, and the concept of the revenge she's getting on Bill, plus trying to get reunited with her daughter, and then the last part at the end with kind of like her daughter and her killing Bill. It was kind of Oh, you might want to hit spoiler alert just because they might not know she kills him.
But yeah, by the way,
no,
with
don't.
Kill Bill.
The movie's been out for like 12 years.
Spoiler alert!
Don't need spoiler
Bill
alert.
gets killed.
There's going to be a cutoff for the spoiler alerts, just so you know. Like a decade or so, if we say something and you're like,
wait a second.
What, Bruce Willis was dead? No, that's your own
And
fault.
Die Hard the entire time?
Yeah, Die Hard was all in the spirit world.
Especially in that last one.
Like the first stunt, he actually gets killed. Like he doesn't keep going through.
First it was his hairline, and then the rest of them is what happened.
He doesn't actually save Nakatomi Tower. He gets killed immediately with everyone.
He goes to the Great Beyond with Carl Winslow.
So that's our top 10 for the best moms.
Yes.
And then we're going to jump into the bad ones here. I'll start it off here because you already named somebody. Pamela Voorhees was my number 10.
Oh, there we go.
Who's Jason Voorhees' mom, the slasher from Friday the 13th.
It's weird how I thought that she was a good mom and you thought she was a bad mom.
I almost put her in the good moms, but then I thought about it and I'm like, well, he's already dead, so she's not really a mom anymore.
Well, no, like while she was out avenging him, he was alive. It's just that he didn't actually die until part 4. Oh, here we go.
Was he?
So he was alive until part 4, then he got killed and was not around for part 5, and then he was brought back to life in part 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anyway, just to let you know how much I know.
No, that's fine. But yeah, so she was my number 10.
My number 10. So here I'm going to get into this is my AMC part of my list here. So number 10, Debbie Draper from Mad Men.
Is that who January Jones plays?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I saw her on a list because I was looking through lists today and like just trying to jog my memory, and I saw her on the list. And I've never watched all of Mad Men, so
yeah, I just like she was given like a tough hand in terms of a character because of Don Draper, but man, there are times where she is icy, and I don't know if it's Debbie Draper or January Jones. However, and this will tie into something we're going to talk about a little later. She's on The Last Man on Earth with that's that Will Forte show.
Yeah. I tried watching a couple of those.
She's actually pretty funny on there. So
really?
She actually has a personality, but it's like, but when she was cast as like Emma Frost in X-Men First Class, I'm like, that's perfect. She is the Ice Queen.
She didn't keep it going. I don't want to get into Emma
So,
Frost. My number 9 was Kate McAllister from Home Alone.
Oh, today I wrote down some other names and I didn't remember her name. I wrote woman. I wrote mom from Home Alone.
Catherine O'Hara. Yeah, like you.
How could you forget a kid?
You forgot about your kid twice.
Yes. Yeah. So no, you're right. So my number 9, Skylar White from Breaking Bad. Because it's just like there was a lot of times that she needed to back off and let Walt just have his business, like just let him do his science and make some money.
Like, I would say she was I didn't like Skylar.
No, she was supposed to be the person that you felt sympathetic about.
Yeah.
But the way that they did some of the stuff, I'm just like, I don't know.
You did stop feeling sympathetic for her,
Yeah.
but I really don't think it ever conveyed into Walt Jr. or I can't remember the baby's name. But the baby.
I don't know.
But yeah.
Baby Methy. I don't remember.
Baby Methy. Yeah. But all I remember is like, yeah, I guess because like they just kept hiding all that stuff from Walt Jr. and he'd be, dude, this is bullshit. And then like they told him and it's still bullshit. Like
that's true.
Make up your mind, dude.
Yeah.
Is it
I don't know. It just like Anna Gunn, like I wanted to like her and there's bits where I can sympathize, but I don't know.
At the beginning, the first season I was kinda like, man, she's got it rough. Second season it was all downhill. I'm like, I don't like her no more. So that was who's that? Was your number 9?
That was my number 9.
Who's your number 8?
My number 8, Peg Bundy.
Oh, that's a good one. Peg's on my list. She's not number 8.
Damn it.
That's a good one. My number 8 was Mom from Futurama.
That's my number 7.
Oh! Mom from Futurama. Well, we can just jump right into that.
Yeah,
Mom from Futurama. I mean, she's got like so many corporations.
Yes.
I mean, she makes robots. She makes weapons. She makes like furniture. And
I'm going to switch my number 7
And
just to frustrate you. So,
she's kind of terrible to her kids too.
No, she's terrible to all 4 of them.
Except for the robots. If you count the
3.
robots.
No, it's 3. That's the one that you find out that is, you know what? I'm not going to ruin that. You guys got to watch Futurama and find out who the third son is.
But I think she's pretty good to the robots. But then again, that's just to kind of like take over the world.
So since you took Mom from me, I'm going to put down Padme as a...
Padme is on my list too.
damn it. So let me Lorraine McFly. How about that?
Oh, that's
There you go.
I don't have Lorraine McFly.
Yeah. She
Lorraine
tries to sleep with her son.
She does, but it's not really kind of her fault. She doesn't know, but still, it's pretty
She tries to sleep
damn
with Calvin
weird.
Klein. Like
Yeah.
from Back to the Future. So
My 7 and my 6, I'm going to do those back to back because
Okay.
to me it's almost like the same person. Is Lucille Bluth and Mallory Archer.
you took my 3 and 4.
Oh, that's moved up the list. Were they right next to each other
Yes,
like
they
mine
were.
too? Like in my mind, I'm like, it's Jessica Walters. I can't just like.
Yeah. No, it's like basically she's playing Lucille Bluth, but as a spy mistress on Archer, and that's perfect casting. Like, I don't know. So I know people that don't give Archer a chance, but I think it's like some of the best written television. Period.
Archer is amazing.
Yes.
Like I am such a fan of Archer.
Same thing with Arrested Development. Like, you guys aren't watching that, you need to watch it. So I don't have a 3 and 4 anymore. So let me just do
Well, five was my Peg Bundy.
Oh, there you go.
So Peg Bundy, which as entertaining as Peg Bundy was, and as much as I love Peg Bundy, she was not a good mom.
No.
Not always there for the Buck and or not Buck.
Buck.
Bud.
Buck was the dog.
Buck was the
Bud
dog.
and Kelly.
Bud and
were the son-
Kelly.
the son and daughter. Buck the dog.
Nobody.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever. David Faustino, you were the dog.
Yeah. So, all right. So I'm going to do my number 5. No, my number 6. I'm sorry. Mother Brain from Metroid.
Oh, that's a good one. I almost put Mother Brain on there. I almost put I was trying to think. I'm like, yeah, you could kind of put Samus on there too, because I think was it Super Metroid or the Game Boy Metroid where she
Befriended a Metroid?
She befriends a little baby one. It pops out at the end, and then you're like, you can't shoot it, and
Yeah.
then it follows you everywhere, and you're like, oh, great.
Yeah. So, but Mother Brain, it's like, I'm just going to let my kids run all over the place. She's that mom that goes to the store and lets her kids run all over the place. And it's like, where do these kids come from? Oh, it's that big pulsing brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And you're
there's
like,
that.
This kid won't get off me and stop sucking my life energy.
Yeah. My number 5, Norma Bates.
That's a good one.
Maybe not from the show, but I'm talking like from the movie, even though she was already dead, the whole Norma Bates thing. I thought that was like, she must have messed him up.
She did, yeah. That's a good one too. There were a lot of good ones that I saw, like Joan Crawford from Mommy Dearest, but I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
That woman, I guess, was pretty wrecked. All right, who's your number 4?
Well, I had Mallory and Lucille.
Okay.
So I'm going to sneak in for my number 4, which I guess will also be my number 3. I'll sneak in Grendel's mother from Beowulf.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Must have messed him up too. Make him go after Ray Winstone.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie. Yeah,
We'll just
Grendel's
put
mother.
Angela.
Yeah,
We'll
there
just
you
put
go.
Angelina
Yeah.
Jolie. My number 4 was actually the Scarlet Witch.
Oh,
So I know everybody's getting exposed to the Scarlet Witch in Age of Ultron, but in the comics, she has a kid or she doesn't have a kid with another character who I'm not going to spoil because leave things up to it. But she really doesn't, and then she kind of goes crazy, and she's very powerful. So she can manipulate reality. So she makes fake kids and changes the entire world based on that whole thing.
so she's kind of like Lucille Bluth, but with powers. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
if
the
Lucille Bluth could manipulate reality.
I would argue that she can.
So yeah, they did a whole story arc called House of M, which was basically centered on the Scarlet Witch changing the entire world
Yeah.
just because she wanted to have her kids back that she never actually had.
Oh, so yeah, that's I would agree. So my 3 and 4 are gone. My 2 and 1 might be close to yours. Oh yeah, go ahead.
My 3 was Mrs. Robinson
from The
Mrs.
Graduate.
Robinson. Yeah, from The Graduate.
Oh, why was she? I mean,
She seduced.
she was a pretty good mom.
She seduced Dustin Hoffman,
Yeah.
and then it got worse when her daughter tried to start dating Dustin
that's
Hoffman.
true. Yeah.
So like,
Well, they were going to get married.
they were going to get married, and then
again.
she was trying to break them up. So
Yeah.
this woman's trying to break up her daughter with like she's
That's
like
true. I
the
didn't
first
think about
cougar, but
first-
maybe not the first cougar,
the first cougar.
but definitely again. I mean, does that to their daughter.
That's true. That kind of goes to my list here later. So
number-
my number 2, I'm going to put in Mama from Dread of the Mama Clan.
Yeah. We were talking about that a little bit earlier, and I'll give that to you. That's a good one. Which is funny because I know who your number 1 is.
Yeah.
We talked about this,
Yes.
and it's my number 1, but it ties in. But my number 2 is actually Padme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you die of a broken heart, but you got twins.
Yeah, it's like you just gave birth and you lost the will to live.
yeah.
Like did they not have adoption in Star Wars? I mean, are you really that?
Well, I mean, like, what's his name? Jimmy Smits got one of them, right? Like,
Yeah, but like, I mean, there's like it is Lucas writing. I mean, the character, he had to figure out a way to get rid of the character, and he's just like, you lost the will to live because Vader force choked you and broke your heart, which the romance wasn't set up that well anyway. And then you have twins, and you're there giving birth, and then you're just like, my kids are here. I'm done.
So when you say Lucas writing, I'd imagine him gripping the pen in his fist, like in the pit, like it's just like this like angry like writing of this like all capital letters, and just be like, this is Lucas writing. This is what's
I
gonna
picture
happen.
him more like using magnets on a fridge. I don't. I mean, you know me. I am a massive Star Wars fan,
Yeah.
but some of that stuff that guy wrote, and that's one of them. Like I really felt like some of those actors were not terrible. Even Hayden Christensen. I just feel that some of the stuff they were given to work with.
I feel like he was jamming like well, this is how the story has to end. So just like
he's
forces
like,
it all at the end. Yeah.
I need to tie this up somehow. But yeah, I just had twins, and I'm gonna give up on. There was no internal bleeding. There was no
So,
complications from the
Is
birth.
Padme Bob Saget's wife in Full House?
Well, I don't know.
Because he had twins he had to deal with, and like you never saw her again. So do you think Full House?
I don't know. I don't know the story behind
Full
Bob.
House? Like,
no.
well,
I know that, but I mean, I know the story of Full. I don't know the story behind Bob Saget's wife on Full House.
You don't know. Maybe it was Padme.
Maybe it was Padme.
Yeah, that's
maybe
where that's
Full-
where they were raised. Like Uncle Joey.
It's-
Yeah, just think about it. I don't.
Yeah,
don't
but that
think, don't think about it too hard.
That was my number 2.
Okay.
So
my number one, and I think it's your number one as well.
Yeah.
is Cersei Lannister from Game of Thrones, who is
Yeah.
also Mama, but she's also
Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor from the Sarah Connor Chronicles. So she was a good mom and then a terrible mom twice.
Yeah.
So if it makes you 33% of a good mom, I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah,
she's vicious.
Cersei's
So we mentioned the House Lannister, and everything fell apart here at the show.
Yeah.
And wow, I'm being really loud right now too because I was excited. So anyway, worst mom, Cersei Lannister,
Yep. On both our lists without knowing.
without knowing. It's just if you haven't watched Game of Thrones, watch it. Like you'll love that character, you'll love to hate that character. So
Yeah, and what she's done, like what she bred.
yes. So all right. Moving on from that, we wanted to get something fun here at the very last bit of the show. Something I talked about last week. We, in honor of the 12 Hours of Terrible, I thought it'd be fun to maybe do kind of our own thing of that, where it's more what dice. Where did I put the die at? Did I lose the die?
You might have.
Oh, son of a gun!
Don't worry about it.
Hey, wait.
I got it.
You got it. You know. Oh, right.
I'll figure something out. Just keep talking.
I'll keep talking. I had a prop to use for all this. But where did I put it? I think I was in the middle of trying to figure out what was going wrong with the board here. I think I took the one die we had and lost it. So we're going to do a challenge for the both of us. So the challenge is this, that we both picked 6 absolutely questionable movies, and we're going to challenge one another to randomly go 1 to 6 and pick from each other's lists, and whatever movie it lands on, we are going to have to watch it and then talk about it next week. So think of it as like a Netflix Wheel of Death, but I know Joe didn't do Netflix.
Well, I did, but Netflix it's not what it used to be.
I don't like the olden days of Netflix. Like, what do you?
Well, like they used to have a lot more. I don't want to say selection, but it was just kind of like you could find some really weird stuff on there, and there's not as much weird stuff as you could find before.
No.
So, because I honestly don't use Netflix as much as I used to.
Oh, so my challenge was, we'll talk about this more next week. So we were foreshadowing last week what's happening this week, and we're going to foreshadow next week what's happening next week, I guess. Mad Max Fury Road's coming out. I know Joe's excited to see it. I'm excited to see it too. We're going to talk more. We'll talk about this next week. More about post-apocalyptic movies. However, though, the 6 I picked out I felt are more indicative of post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
So
I just kind of picked because we had talked about this Wheel of Death thing and how it was like awful movies or bad movies that you hate to watch or love to watch, but they're just bad. So
Yeah.
I kind of picked some, and unfortunately, these are not on Netflix. I had to get them by my own means so that I could have Paul watch them. But that doesn't mean that you should not try to seek them out if you're curious.
Yeah, but the 6 I have are on Netflix right now. So, you know,
Now I feel bad because I'm like the guy who's like, you need to go buy stuff.
yes. So let's see here. Let's do, you know what? Let's do the Netflix ones first.
Okay.
So you go ahead and roll on the die that's not a die.
What do we get? I thought we were doing the wheel.
Oh, yeah. Like, we're going to roll a die, but also we have a fancy. That wheel keeps going. Let's keep going.
where's it gonna
$1. $1.95. I don't know. That's Wheel of Fortune. That's Price is Right. That's Wheel of Fortune.
It says Trip to Venice.
Trip to Venice.
Is that a movie? Trip to Venice?
A brand new 27-inch tube TV. I don't know.
right.
So you laid it on number 2.
What did I get?
So should I tell you what you didn't get first?
Yeah, well, let's. Yeah,
Okay.
tell me what I didn't get. I want
So-
to talk about these movies because they're gonna pop back up again.
Yeah, so I'll go from 6 because number 1 is a winner here. So number 6 was Cyborg, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Ooh.
It was the unofficial, not really sequel to He-Man. That I'll keep that around for next time we do this.
No Cyborg 2 though. So you know who's in Cyborg 2?
No.
Angelina Jolie.
I didn't know that. That's amazing. I could read you the Netflix descriptions for each of these if you'd like, just so you can see what you've missed out on.
Okay. No, I'm
okay.
familiar with Cyborg.
Okay. Number 5, Class of Nukem Hive. Hi.
I've
Class of
heard.
Nukem Hive.
Is that a Toxic Avenger?
Tromaville.
Yeah. Really? Okay.
Yeah, and it's actually about Tromaville High School. So it's post-apocalyptic in the sense that it's a high school that's like affected by radiation.
Nukem High. I've heard of it.
So keep that around here. Here's one that you've not heard of called The Colony, that has Lawrence Fishburne, which I typed incorrectly as Lauren Fishburne, the female actor, the female Lawrence Fishburne, and Bill Paxton. It is a more recent movie. The description here just sounded amazing. After losing contact with the only other known settlement in an icy post-apocalyptic landscape, an outpost of colonists discover a sinister threat. So you missed out on that one. Number 3, I guess this ties into this one. It's called Ice-Tastrophe. You missed out on.
I saw Ice-Tastrophe on the list. I looked through Netflix and
Yeah.
I remember seeing Ice-Tastrophe.
So then number 2, it's called 40 Days and Nights. I don't think this is a silent film, but it feels like they're like, hey, Noah came out. We should do our own Noah story. But it's a futuristic Noah story, and I was going to punish you with that. So, but you... actually, you know what? You hit number 2. That's what you won. Because
What did
number
I
1,
get? 40 Days
40 Days and Nights. Because number 1 was Left Behind with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, I
You didn't
saw
get
that one too.
Yeah, so you got 40 Days and Night, 40 Days and Nights. When a colossal tectonic shift causes the seas to rise 5,000 feet, a microbiologist and a defense contractor desperately try to save life on Earth. So you have to watch that.
Okay.
That sounds pretty amazing. So,
I have to wait. I have to watch which one?
40 Days and Nights.
Okay.
Yeah. Since I ruined that by reading that, and then yeah.
Have you watched any of these?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
That's that. Like I should probably have watched Cyborg by now, just because I watched Masters of the Universe last week.
I may have watched Cyborg a long time ago because I mean, in the 80s, 90s, like Van Damme movies were kind of hard not to follow. Like, if you saw Van Damme was in a movie, it was just like, hey, it's another action movie of Van Damme. Let's fire it up.
Yeah, and Left Behind, I will only watch with friends with alcohol around me because I don't think I could watch a Nicolas Cage Rapture movie otherwise.
Yeah, and Nicolas Cage.
I'm keeping that one in my Wheel of Death until you pick it. That's a guaranteed. That's going to happen at some point. So, did you get your 6?
Yeah. Hold on a second. I don't know how you guys will find any of these because some of them are pretty weird, and I know like a lot of people out there are resourceful. So, and like I'm pulling up the descriptions here so I could kind of read them and let Paul read them too because I think some of them will be pretty good. So go ahead and hit that wheel.
Okay.
Let's see what you get.
Oh, and I got the number 4.
You got the number 4. So I'm probably. I mean, there was a couple on here that would have been interesting for him to get, but I'm going to let him read what movie he got.
Okay. I'm scared.
I'm not. All right. The summary kind of cuts off. I don't know if.
Eh.
Well, wait, here, let me see.
Is it Ice Pirates?
Okay.
Please tell me it's Ice Pirates.
No, it's not Ice Pirates. It's Street Trash
Street Trash.
from 1987. So, here, read the summary. That summary right there. I'll go over the rest of them, but
When a liquor store owner finds a case of Viper in his cellar, he decides to sell it to the local hobos at $1 a bottle, unaware of its true properties. The drinks cause its consumers to melt very messily. 2 homeless lads find themselves up against the effects of the toxic brew, as well as going head-to-head with Bronson, a Vietnam vet with sociopathic tendencies, and the owner of the junkyard they live in. Thank you, Zombie Fiend 2000, for writing that plot summary.
So the other movies we had were The Divide, which came out in 2011. And this would tie into a lot of the post-apocalyptic stuff. So
Okay.
that was kind of on my list of like the Mad Max-ish type things. Survivors of a nuclear attack are grouped together for days in the basement of their apartment building, where fear and dwindling supplies wear away at their dynamic. And this is like one of those movies like I was talking about earlier about watching just, how, people as humanity and stuff like break down. And Michael Biehn's in this one.
Oh, well.
So,
I mean, if there's anybody I want at the end of the world, it's Michael
and
Biehn.
I think it was a tough movie to watch, I think, because it doesn't really, I don't want to say pull any punches, but there's some weird stuff that goes on in this thing, because you don't really have a huge backstory for these people, but, after you start to see stuff they do, you're like, what were these people? Another one which I kind of wish you'd got was The Stuff. Have you seen The Stuff?
I've seen half of the stuff.
I
I started watching it on Netflix, and it was weird. And I remember that from being a kid. And I remember it was like marshmallow fluff that ate people.
Yeah.
And then there was some guy that could do martial arts in the middle of it. It's like the guy was like Famous Amos. Like he was like the rival, like dessert guy in the middle of the movie. He's like, oh yeah, I could do martial arts now. It's like, and isn't that, I feel like it's the guy from Saturday Night Live too. And I can't remember his name. Like,
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Oh shoot. Yeah. I can't remember
But
his
yeah,
name.
The Stuff was, Garrett Morris.
Garrett Morris. That's it. Yes.
The Stuff was definitely about like yogurt or marshmallow or whatever, but it's like some weird alien thing. The synopsis is: a delicious mystery goo that oozes from the earth is marketed as the newest dessert sensation, but the tasty treat rots more than the teeth when zombie-like snackers who only want to consume more of the strange substance at any cost begin to infest the world.
I think they need to remake this with Nutella.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yes.
The other movie, this one is kind of just, this is the only movie I literally probably wanted to shoot myself in the theater watching. I can't remember why I went and saw it because it came out in
Was
2001.
it Crow City of Angels? Why would you make me watch Crow City of Angels?
No, it's The Pledge with Jack Nicholson.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing this cover. And yeah, I don't want to see that.
See, you're like, I don't want to see it. And basically, a retiring police chief pledges to catch the killer of a young child. It doesn't go anywhere. Like, you just, I don't know. I remember watching it, and I'm like, I am incredibly bored with this. Like, I would rather be watching some terrible...
Jack Nicholson was method acting boring.
Oh, it was so bad. The other two were kind of fun. Undead, which is a post-apocalyptic zombie movie.
I've seen that. The Australian one? New Zealand
yeah,
one, yeah.
New Zealand one.
There's the guy who ends up shooting fish.
Yes,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
he's
No, that was a lot of fun.
fighting.
Yeah.
That is a fun movie.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm glad you didn't get that one. And then the other one was mentioned on our Facebook page by one of my friends, Rubber,
Oh, I need to watch that.
which came out in 2010.
About a killer tire.
Yes. Let me describe this. A homicidal car tire, discovering it has destructive psionic power, sets its sights on a desert town once a mysterious woman becomes its obsession. And I mean, that's kind of like it was on Netflix at one point in time, and I watched it because I'm like, okay, I gotta bite. This description is just, interesting enough. So I watched it, and it really is kind of like, you're just like, what the hell is going on? Like, it's a tire. It's that.
Well, isn't there like a weird like fourth wall breaking thing where there's an audience watching it? Yeah.
There's a really weird. Yeah, that's really weird. It starts in the beginning. There's like a fourth wall audience just sitting in the desert watching it, and they don't explain why, and they can pretty much see everything it does, and that's it all. It's a weird group of people, young, old. There's a kid in a wheelchair. Like, it makes no sense why all these people are just watching this tire.
I will keep that on the list because, well, I'm looking forward to that. Maybe don't keep it on the list. That's something maybe, yeah.
I'm glad we went over the list because I'll take Undead out of there since you've seen it.
Yeah, that was actually a really fun movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that movie a great deal. When you say rubber, it makes me think of, did you see John Dies at the End?
No, you've told me to watch it, and I know it's on Netflix.
I might sneak. You know what? The future Wheel of Death, I might sneak one movie on there that I like, just to be like, maybe you get a chance of something that would be great. I don't know. Like there's that 1 in 6 chance.
Yeah, like you spin the wheel and they're all bankruptcy, but then there's one that's like $5,000.
That's like, oh, you might hit the big one.
Yeah.
So I'll watch Street Trash, and you'll watch 40 Days and Nights, not 40 Days of Night, because that's the vampire movie, or is that's 30 Days a Night.
30
yeah, whatever.
Days a Night,
So many days a night. I don't know. So we'll do that. We'll report next week about how that went. Joe's going to see Fury Road this weekend. I may not get to it,
but
if he does see it, I hope this is in it.
We don't need another hero. We don't need to know the way home. All we want is what we
Thunderdome.
Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah. So yeah, that's gonna happen this weekend, and then we'll be back next week. In the meantime, guys, interact with us, comment on the Facebook stuff. Let us know what you would like to see or what you liked about the show.
Yeah, please feel free to mention weird movies, and because we'll do the Wheel of Death again. Also, feel free to please argue our top 10 best worst moms. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. The email address is invadingpodcast@gmail. Twitter is invadingpodcast@Twitter. Okay,
and then just the Invasion of the Podcast on Facebook. We're on Podbean. We're on iTunes.
Pending Stitcher.
Stitcher's pending.
It's searchable, but I don't know if they've officially approved it yet. I am in the process of working on getting this available for the masses elsewhere. It's a process because everybody got to apply and then they got to approve it and make sure that we're not saying a bunch of swear words in a row over and over and over again.
Yeah,
which will be next episode.
Yeah, we'll keep it going. But definitely share us, get us out there, get kind of viral, help us because we're not doing any of this for money or anything. We're just doing it for fun. And it's it's more fun when you get more people to talk to about stuff like this. I know a lot of social media. I try not to use social media because of all the stuff that gets flooded in, and I don't want to be another one of those things like I'm going to scroll through my feed and just ignore this. But
well, my feed is nothing but cat photos that I post daily.
Yeah.
So
here's more e-cards and pictures of our babies and.
Yeah, I time hop pictures of children that I don't even have, is what I do. I'm just like, remember this kid I didn't look at 3 years ago? I'm going to show a picture of it. Yeah. So anyway,
but yeah,
please hit us up on all this stuff. A lot of fun. Forgive the technical hiccups and the lack of dye. I don't know. Like I had all this stuff set up tonight, and then the whole show shut down for a minute, and then I freaked out and I was weeping in the corner, and Joe slapped me like 6 times and was like, "You gotta get back up there." He's like, I will get a pillowcase full of soap like in Full Metal Jacket and beat you until you get back up on the microphone. So that happened. Anyway, please hit us up. And I think that we're going to end it now because I hit buttons and we're going to go out. And anyway, have a good week. We'll talk to you next time. And I don't know, don't cross the Lannister.
No.